Okay, thank you very much for joining us, everyone. We're here today. In fact, we came initially to get a decision on the case from the Court of Appeal. However, the government submitted additional points to bolster their arguments in their case, so the judges deferred their decision to hear arguments from both sides today. And I will pass it on shortly to Datuk Burdial to speak on the legal arguments a little bit. But suffice to say that the decision will now be announced on the 5th of August. And so far, all the 6 mothers who are applicants on the case have received citizenship documents for their children. However, we do want to stress that the High Court judgment applied equally to similarly affected Malaysian mothers. And therefore, as we wait for the judgment on the 5th of August, mothers who are not applicants on the case have submitted and are continuing to submit their documents to the National Registration Department or Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara for validation to ensure that their children also receive citizenship documents. And we ask that JPN continue to abide by the High Court order and issue citizenship documents to the children of Malaysian mothers and give them relief from their ongoing hardship. So I'll stop there and pass it on to Datuk Burdial.
Okay, thank you. I just have 2 short points to make. The first is that today there was a further hearing because the Attorney General's Chambers, Counsel for Attorney General's Chambers, wrote in and raised a point which we call startling, because what he said was that a decision that was made by the federal court after the conclusion of the hearing in March of this year in respect of this case, the effect of that decision is that the amendment that was made to the federal constitution unanimously by Parliament, saying that you cannot discriminate against gender, is wrong and tidak boleh dipindah. He says you cannot amend the constitution to allow for gender discrimination to be declared unconstitutional. That is startling because, all these amendments go through the AG's chambers anyway, so I don't know what they are challenging really. But the reason why we say that it is startling is because if you read the decision, which is the decision of Dinesh, given in April, the decision makes it very clear that you cannot alter the basic structure of the constitution, which means you cannot abrogate any rights, you cannot take away any rights, but you want to enhance the rights, you want to improve the provisions of the constitution to amplify further the rights. You are perfectly entitled to do that. And the Dinesh case made it very clear that this was the thrust of their decision. So that is why we say that we are a bit surprised with the kind of position they took. But we have rectified, we hope, fruitfully, to demolish this particular contention itself. That's the first point I want to make. The second point I want to make is that we have the order of the High Court was that not only the 6 plaintiffs, but also every mother, citizen, who is in a similar circumstance, which means married to a foreigner and gives birth outside of Malaysia, the child is entitled to be declared a citizen by operation of law. And they so declared this. The Attorney General Chambers applied to stay this particular provision, which means do not issue any documents in the interim until the outcome of this particular case is resolved. The High Court said no stay, you have to issue the documents, not only to the 6 plaintiffs, but to the mothers, all other mothers. And then they appealed to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal also rejected the application to stay, which means the documents must issue. But what the JPN is doing, I don't know, I hope it's not through the advice of the Attorney General, because they'll be most unfortunate, is that they are refusing to give the documents. And they are saying that we've got to wait for the outcome, which means that the Court of Appeal decision and the High Court decision saying that we cannot stay this, you must issue, is being openly defied. And this, in normal circumstance, constitutes a contempt of court, which is punishable by imprisonment and or fine, or both. Now, we are reluctant to proceed with this contempt against the Attorney General's chambers, because this will be quite a far-fetched action that we'll be taking. But we have written a letter and we expect them to obey the law. Nobody is above the law, right? Least of all, those who are responsible for enforcing the law, the Attorney General. So we appeal to the Attorney General and chambers to be correctly advised that they have to issue these documents to the mothers who are like circumstance, wherever they are located. That is the effect of it. And they have to do it expeditiously, because for fathers who are in a similar situation, the documents are issued almost immediately or within a very short span of time. Here you have cases of mothers who have been applying and have given all their documents something like 6 months ago, half a year ago, and the JPN is just defying it. I mean, this is going to break down. There is going to be a breakdown of the rule of law. And as a lawyer, and as a concerned citizen of the country, I think we cannot allow this to persist, and we hope the Attorney General will listen to or respond to our letter favorably and make the necessary orders against JPN, so that we can avoid taking any further action for enforcement of our clients' rights. Thank you.
Okay. My name is Hannah Yu. I'm a Member of Parliament for Segambut, and I stand here with the mothers, and we are calling upon the Home Ministry to immediately follow the decision of the High Court and issue the documents to the applicants. Number one, Jabatan Pendaftar Negara is 100% funded by taxpayers, and I do not believe that taxpayers want these mothers to suffer. These are legitimate citizens of Malaysia fighting for their right, and as a fully funded agency, you should be working for the people. And I don't think we are looking at hundreds and hundreds of thousands of applications to process. So far, for these last few months, only six applications have come through. So we are waiting to go back to Parliament for the data on exactly how many applications. But surely I think JPN, with all the budget that we have approved for JPN every year, they can do better than this, and they can do faster than this.